Went to Uprise Fest this past weekend.
Yeah.
I think next year's 20 years.
Have they been doing it that long?
I think so.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Because I remember when it started, because it was like, oh, well, we already have Creation. Do we need another?
Mm-hmm.
Then Creation died.
Yes, it did.
So, and Uprise is still going strong.
So did Cornerstone.
Yeah, Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's always a good chance to see some people we know. Got to see Matt Baird from Spoken, the band Spoken. Shout out.
Yep.
Cool dude.
Yes. He's awesome.
They're always great to watch them, their performance. So
yes.
that was fun. Yeah, and had all three of my kids there with me, which was the first too. 2 years ago, I went. Just Addie and I went. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But it was a good time. Good time. So did you guys ever play?
No, we were going to. And I don't remember what happened, but I remember one year they had us booked for Uprise, but then it didn't happen. I do remember playing at Cornerstone though.
Yeah.
That was the only time I went to that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to that other times too, but it didn't. But
so it's a little more of a hike to get out there.
That's not in PA. But speaking of PA also is Purple Door, which is another one that is gone now.
Yeah, so that was another one.
And that's one I always wanted to play at, but never did. But I remember going to that many years.
Yeah. Did you ever go when it was in Lancaster? Or did you, by the time you started going, it was at ski round?
Yeah, it was always at the ski place.
Yeah, no, it started when it was in Lancaster.
Okay. No, I never went to it then.
Yeah.
I always remember it at the ski round top. Is that what it is?
Ski round top, yeah.
Okay. Write in, let us know if
you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you know of any of these places. These are all PA. Wait, Creation's
PA.
That was PA also? Okay. So Cornerstone's the only one that was Ohio, Illinois?
It was in Illinois.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. Write in if you know the deep lore of Christian emo music. I was in it deep.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV. I'm your host, Josh, and much of the misery of this podcast is of our own making.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is my co-host, Jared.
This is good. We didn't have the same one. Josh, we cannot give this podcast to men. The risk of corruption is simply too great. Whatever the problems we might solve will be nothing against those we could create.
Wow, but back-to-back quotes. They were
was that at the same time?
They were almost. I mean, it's basically when they're talking about making the rings for men. And he brings up, he's like, much of the misery of men is of their own making. And, it's like, and
yeah, that's all at the same time.
So it's all around the same conversation.
Nice.
It's just awesome. Well, on that note, today we are going to be discussing The Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 5. But that'll be a little bit later towards the end of the podcast. But first, we'll start with what we've been watching and then do a little based or waste.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So what have you been watching, Jared?
I only have 2 movies. That's it.
Okay.
So
you go first.
Do you have? Okay.
Have one thing.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'll start. There's a good one and a bad one of these 2 movies.
Want the good news or the bad news first?
Yeah, which one do you want first?
I always want the bad news first.
Oh, you want? Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because I'd like to end on the good note.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. The Crow 2024.
Oh, the new.
Yeah, it's on VOD now. I definitely was not going to go see this in theaters.
It was pretty bad.
Yes, it is. This didn't need to be made anyway, because the original Crow movie is awesome. I was
going to ask if you were a fan of the original.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And you've seen it, right?
I don't know that I ever have.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you would have been like.
Oh yes.
It's
I was like,
it's
all
your
my friends
movie.
were like,
yeah.
so into it. I don't think I ever saw the film. If I did, I saw it like one time.
And it kind of has the kind of goth thing that like Matrix then kind of went into a little bit later, because this was like a few years before that, I want to say. I think it was mid-90s when The Crow came out. Yeah. But this one I was like, all right, I'm going to check it out at least. I didn't even finish it though. So
ooh, is that bad?
Yeah. So to start, absolutely no substance to this movie. Honestly, it makes it so the Crow legacy is now tarnished, because if we just left the original movie alone, we'd be good. Now again, we'll always have that movie, but the problem is that all these remakes now, it's like, I'm not saying they're all bad. There's remakes that are good, but this was not one of them. So Bill Skarsgård is the main character. He is even not good in this, and I think he's a great actor in pretty much everything I've seen him in, except for this. Yeah, he was not good. And then even worse than that is the main actress in this movie, who is FKA Twigs, which is her name of her. She's a music pop star. Not really pop music. I don't really know how to describe it. But anyway.
Famous music artist.
Yes. She, I don't know if she's done any acting besides this movie, but she should stick to music, because she is...
Well,
it's not great. Yeah.
How else are you going to get the EGOT if you don't branch
That's
out?
true. They all got to do it at some point. Dip their toe into the other worlds. Yeah. And then I think that's all my notes on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's yeah, don't watch it. There's your
noted.
Yeah. Don't watch it.
All right, so I have had no free time now for second week running.
Yeah.
And part was because I spent a good part of my weekend at a music festival. But so they've in the last 2 weeks have added 2 new things to the Apple Vision Pro immersive experiences. One of them I haven't even gotten around to watching, and these things normally aren't that long. I mean, but the other one is the longer of the 2. It's more like a 15-minute, 20-minute thing. But the one I did watch, which was more like a 5 minutes or something, was the recap montage from the Super Bowl.
Okay, I didn't know they did this for Apple Vision Pro.
I mean, they must have they must have recorded things in this 8K stereo 180 format.
Cool.
So so amazing to watch. It's so weird because like I don't even like football.
Yeah, but you feel like you're there.
But you're just and the energy from like, and then it's following the Chiefs, who then ended up winning. Just like showing all them, and it's so cool. It's yeah. I mean, I've only tried yours like for a little bit, and I mean, the Alicia Keys music one, I was just like, this is crazy. Like that was my favorite. But yeah, I mean, you felt like you were in the studio with her, which is so I mean, I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, this hasn't been around that long now, so like it's gonna be, I can't imagine what they're gonna do. It's only been like 6 months. It came out February. So,
okay.
So 7 months.
See.
7 months.
Yeah, we'll see. Starting next year, we'll see like where they're at, like kind of like a year in.
Yeah. Why do the more I say public is maybe, but the tools in the workflow was supposed to be kind of hitting this fall, like Blackmagic design with like a camera that can film it, and then Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve like kind of being updated to support it, and then Vimeo is I think supposed to be allowed playback or something. So because that's the other thing, how do you distribute the content?
True. Yeah.
But yeah, so short and sweet, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't tried it and been like, oh, this is disappointing.
Yeah.
It's just like with anything else that's like VR related. It's like you just have to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
To really, like, if you just try to describe it, it's only going to do so much.
The easiest thing, like you said earlier, the easiest way to describe it is like you feel like you're there,
right?
Like which is, I know, a weird thing to say, but
no, I mean that's the idea for VR anyway.
Yeah.
But it's come a long way.
Yeah, I think this has finally hit that point of like resolution and quality that you can feel like you're there. So
awesome.
All right, what was the other thing you watched?
Yeah, the other movie also just came out on VOD is Inside Out 2. So I know you saw this in theaters.
I saw this in theaters. Yes. Yeah, in a couple of weeks it comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's normally kind of that thing. Yeah, you get the VOD thing, and then it goes to whatever streaming it's going to be on. Like, usually a few weeks after. I still, just to start, because I mean, I thought this movie was great. I do still like the first one better.
Okay.
But yeah, it's to start with, the different composer for this movie. That was the only thing that was kind of a bummer, because Michael Giacchino did the first one. Obviously, he's one of the best.
Legend.
Yeah, and the score in the first one was so good. And you hear the main theme in this, which he wrote. So but it's someone else. I looked it up. I don't remember the name, but he didn't do the music in this. And you could feel it. It's not as good, but the movie itself was still great. And what I want to mention specifically is, just like in the first one, they do a great job with displaying the new emotions. So this one, obviously the big one's anxiety, envy, and embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, all of these that they do in this are just
there was the other
so
one, the French word.
Ennui. Yeah.
Ennui.
Yeah. He's like an emo guy. Yeah.
The angsty emo.
Yeah.
Teenage.
Yeah. I forgot about that's right. Yeah. Yeah. He was great. I also loved because I don't remember if this character was in the first one or not, but I love the old grandma nostalgia. Yeah. Was she in the first one?
No, she was not.
Okay. Yeah.
That was new.
That was great too.
Yeah.
It's just like a perfect representation.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, not yet. They're like, you go back in, not quite time yet for.
Yeah, if we had, interns or whatever, we could go back and play. Insert here my thoughts and comments from when I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in June.
Yep.
But we don't have interns.
No, and I'm not good enough in Final Cut yet to do that.
Well, that'd be you have to go back and find it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that was a while ago. Yeah.
But yeah.
So two other things that I really liked was there's a character, I forget his name. There's a character that looks basically like Link from Zelda, and they animate him and like it looks like an N64 looking character. That was so cool how they did that, how they animated him. And then the other thing I thought was great was sarcasm being an actual chasm.
Yes.
So like all that kind of stuff, they just do so well with that. But
it's such smart writing.
It is very smart.
Well, and also then the anime character that she had like a crush on.
The anime. Oh yes, yes. I remember that now. Yeah.
Thought that was awesome.
Yeah. 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 So it's good. It's I don't know. I can't really think about exactly why I like the first one still better, but I mean it's always hard to.
It's the original
sequel,
but also, but then I think this one was a little more if you go back and watch the original, I know when the last time you watched it. I watched it right after.
I watched it pretty recently. Yeah.
Okay, I watched it right after seeing this one, and then I was realizing how, like, the original was a lot less polished in the world making of this concept.
Yeah,
it was
I agree with that.
Looser with it, but it was because it was such an ambitious thing, I think, in the first place, and then sitting with it for so many years and then writing a sequel. Whoever
there was a big gap between it,
it was
right?
a decent amount,
yeah. Wasn't it like 2015 or around then for the first one?
I can't remember, but
so yeah,
I think it allowed them to really hone this world of this idea, and so I think it was a lot more polished and thought on the idea of the emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that was what was done better.
Yeah.
But then, the original is the original idea. So, yeah. Also, just note that I think this was a first-time director for the sequel.
Oh, wow.
And I believe it was a female, but it was, and so it was also broke all these records for the amount of money, because obviously it was one of the bigger blocks for a first-time director.
Yeah, this did insanely well in theaters. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she did a great job with this movie, especially it's your first time directing, and also with animation as opposed to live action. That's I imagine very different way of going about it.
Yeah.
My only other thing I wanted to mention is just wanted to mention a trailer. The Minecraft movie teaser. Did you see it?
Yes.
Absolutely awful.
Yes.
I was thinking about it, I'm like, why do I hate this so much? And what it came down to was, I think it looks like either a Super Bowl ad or it looks like an ad for like a mobile game. Like just the way it looked, I don't know. There was something really weird about it. It also just looked really fake. Yeah. So don't know why they're doing this. I mean, well, I do know why, because Minecraft is massive, but
yes. And then the people they have in it though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jason Momoa.
Yep.
And Jack Black.
Yep. Got some big names.
Yeah. Jack Black hasn't been on a good run lately.
That's true.
Which sucks because I really like him, but not so much lately. Although the Mario movie was cool, and he was Bowser. So, but yeah, I feel like he hasn't done something great in a while.
Yeah. But still,
yeah. All right, yeah, that's
okay.
That's it. Shorter section again today.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of, we talked about this last week. There's a lot of things. Well, we're also recording a little bit earlier than we normally do, but there's a few big things even coming out tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah, but
Penguin and Agatha, those are the two.
But then there was things that came out in the last week or two that I just haven't gotten around to watching. So
was there? Because
for me on my list.
Yeah, maybe not for me then.
But yeah, we'll maybe can make up for it next week.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a chill weekend.
Yeah.
Just sit and watch TV because it's been crazy.
I know. Yeah.
All right. Let's speaking of chill, what's not chill is the fire that they make these rings out of.
Well, we got to do base your ways first. Yeah.
I almost forgot.
I thought you were doing a segue into that.
I was trying to do it.
But you were doing a segue into a different thing.
I was trying to segue, but I was going the wrong direction.
It's all right.
All right.
It's time for Based or Waste.
Yeah. Welcome back to Based or Waste, the fastest growing
Trend.
podcast gaming show. I don't Still haven't got any feedback though, so I don't know what people think. This will be our third one that we're doing. Haven't heard anyone say anything about this, so I don't know. We'll see. I have 10
again?
I think 9 or 10.
Okay.
So this game, just go on Rotten Tomatoes. We go into the trending TV and just pick a few on there. And Josh is going to guess if this either season or a whole show rating, audience rating. Actually, that's important to say. Is good or bad. So if it's based or waste.
Let's do it.
All right. Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. Oh, that's one thing that just came out, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I'm going to say based.
Yes.
Right.
It is a 90.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got to check that out, actually.
Yeah.
That was something you told me about that I
And definitely
wasn't aware
wanted
of.
to watch it, but I have not had time.
Yep. Okay. All right. You're going to keep
Oh, yeah.
keep track?
Or
you
just
just
if I,
got it all
or
up
when
in
I
there.
miss. When I miss.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to create an opening, and then
Yeah, we
and then we
talked
need a
about
little like rating thing, so you can like put it up on the screen.
That's gonna be too much for me to do.
No, you got this. All right.
That's gonna be a whole nother tutorial you're gonna have to show me. All right. Next one is 3 Women, season 1. Are you even aware of this?
I was.
Okay.
It was on my list to check out.
Okay.
I'm gonna say based.
Yes. This is an 80.
All right.
Not bad. Actually, I did watch the first episode of the show a while back when it came out, and it was cool. I like some of the actors that are on it. That's why I checked it out.
First up, you mean the first season? This just came out.
No, it just came out on. So originally it was on Showtime or something.
Okay.
But now it's streaming elsewhere. So like it's been out for a while now.
Oh, okay.
When it originally aired, I think it was Showtime.
I saw a trailer for it. And
Yeah,
that's
they're
weird,
probably
'cause
showing it again because is it now? Where's that now?
now it's on Paramount.
Okay,
which
well
is
that makes
also-
sense
But
because
also
Showtime
they're the
is.
same. Yes.
But I don't think they were when this came out,
Okay.
and maybe that's why. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Rick and Morty the anime.
All of them.
Sorry, season 1 because this just came out. This is different from Rick and Morty. This is Rick and Morty the anime. Yeah.
Yes. I've heard about this. I'm still gonna say based. Oh,
Nope, this is a waste. This is a 13, which is crazy because Rick and Morty is awesome.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna give it. That's one negative
Yeah.
for me.
And this is like horrible apparently. So I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it's not even the same people that made it. I don't know. Okay. Shogun season 1.
Based.
Yes, this is 91. I'm thinking, did we do this one already? I feel like there's going to be crossover because some of the stuff stays on the
bubbles
trending.
back up.
Yeah. Well, this now you said just won so much, so many Emmys, which is
That's
awesome.
probably why it's might be
People
back
are
up.
checking it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's getting so much
Yeah, this is 91.
buzz.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's low. I feel like it should be even higher than a 91.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. You probably have the people that are like, I gotta read subtitles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really like doing that either, but I got used to it and it didn't hinder my enjoyment of it at all.
Yeah.
All right. Severance season 1.
Based.
Yes, of course. This makes sense. This is trending again. People
Getting ready.
gotta, yeah. Yeah, this is an 88, which I think that is low. 88 overall needs to be higher than that.
Yeah.
right? We think it's on the
when you look
level of
at- when you-
Shogun.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But from
And
my
that's
perspective,
higher.
but I would say when you're looking at audience score and you're just trying to gauge the general public.
Yeah.
I would say even with subtitles and things that a broader audience would enjoy Shogun over Severance, because Severance definitely gets a little weird with the sci-fi.
Yeah,
and not everybody likes
it's
that.
more it's more heady. It's more
Yeah.
a thinky type show. Yeah, that is true. All right. The Circle. This is the whole show. I think this has had many seasons, right? On Netflix.
I guess
This is one of those reality shows, right? The
Is it?
Circle. Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it's about, but
Okay. Heck, based.
yeah, it's still based. It's a 60.
Okay. I
thought you saw this. I thought you saw the
I've
Circle.
never seen The Circle.
Okay.
I just going off the fact that there's a couple seasons and that it had to be at least decent enough. But
They're
the
still
public
doing
at
it.
least, yeah, because there's like,
Yeah.
because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Not familiar.
What's the one that we were talking a lot before about? Was it Love is Blind? That's the Netflix reality
That's the
show we were
Netflix one
talking
as well,
about.
yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that one either, but that one I at least more.
I remember we
aware of what
mentioned it
is.
because they were doing it around here, right? They were doing it in DC.
They did a DC one.
Yeah.
I don't know that one's aired yet though.
Okay. Well, it's probably coming back soon. Those shows don't take that
No.
long to come out.
No.
I saw that Survivor's already coming out again. Crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Couple more. Tulsa King season 2. This just came out this week.
Waste.
Nope. This is a 91.
What?
I've seen the first season. I haven't. Probably next week I'll mention it because I really like the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Sly
Sort-
Stallone.
Stallone.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. You have Paramount now, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I think this is involved with the Taylor Sheridan stuff. I want to say.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I don't know how much he's involved in it, but all right. Bad Sisters season 1.
Oh.
I didn't see a rating for season 2 yet, even though it just came out, right?
I think tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay, well that's why
I
then.
think maybe, or if it was it last Friday. I don't know. It's very.
I don't know. It was I knew it was coming out like around.
I'm gonna say based.
Yep. It's a 60. So
Barely.
yeah. All right, 2 more. Squid Game season 1.
Based.
Yeah.
I mean,
84. That's we were talking about that. It comes out I think in Christmas. Finally
Season
coming
2.
back after like 4 years, 3 or 4 years. It's as long as Severance has been off, which is insane. Like 3 years at least.
yeah.
It's crazy. All right, last one. Euphoria, the whole show.
Based.
Yes. 85.
All right.
All right. So you got
Missed 2.
Miss 2. Okay. All right. Well,
I think it's about as good as they've done. Like I think
Yeah.
now that you dropped it down to like 10
yeah.
ish.
Did
Like
you miss 2 last week?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, again, write in if you give me ideas for when Josh has a perfect game, because I don't know what we're gonna do if that happens. I got to think of something, a prize or something. Yeah.
A gift, if you will.
Yeah. All right.
So now we can do the segue. Speaking of chill,
Speaking of chill,
let's talk about the Rings of Fire. I mean,
not so chill.
yeah. All right, Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 5. Halls of Stone. When Durin grows suspicious of the Dwarven rings, Celebrimbor must reassess his priorities. Amidst Numenor's shifting currents, Elendil searches for hope.
Okay.
Yeah. Lot going on this week.
Yeah.
So overall, thoughts on this episode? We're into the back half.
Back half, yeah. I really, it feels like we're not progressing enough with the plot, to me. That's the only thing I'm kind of like down on this week. Just like the past couple weeks, there were moments in the episode that I liked, but yeah, this one seemed like we're not going as far as I thought we would with this. Like, it seems like they're spinning the wheels a little bit, which I don't know. I don't think they're doing. I think they said they're only doing like 4 seasons or something. Like, I don't think they're doing this show for like ever. So it's like, I feel like you should be going a little bit more, because there's a lot to cover in the second age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's what I think. So what about you?
It's 5 seasons.
5, okay. Well,
But
still
also-
only
but
8 episodes.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. And I think, and then I've seen something recently saying they're committed, which means that they're just going to do 3 more because they've already done 2. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think
Did you feel that too with this episode?
I don't know if I feel like it's such a weird, it's a weird challenge. The thing that was more to me is like, it's like where they decide to sprinkle some things in to be like, hey, don't forget about these people. But then other people, they're like completely missing that storyline in a certain episode. And they do that with different ones. I mean, it's not always the same one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. And I feel like it just makes them, I don't know, it makes it not feel as cohesive. I don't know if that, like, I think it's like kind of weird to kind of skip a whole plot line on some people.
Yeah, I agree
for an
with
episode, and you're like, what happened to them or 2? And then it's like, oh, and then we come back to them, and suddenly, like,
Yep.
So now, like, as much as some of them I like better than others, it's still weird. So on this one, we focus a lot on the dwarves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Numenor, and then a little bit with the elves, but not even that much with the elves.
Yeah, not really with
other
elves.
than
Celebrimbor and Anatar.
Yeah, that stuff. But like, that was more because of them dealing with the dwarves and the rings and less. Yeah. So I don't know. It's I think it was similar to last week's, but then what this one didn't have was the kind of the fan like stuff where you had, last week we had the Ints and the
right,
Tom Bombadil
fan service type things,
where we didn't really have that in this episode.
No, we didn't.
Just kind of didn't have quite the excitement of seeing those things on screen.
Yeah, it's just like you said, we're in the back half now. Like, we have 3 more episodes. That's it. It just seems like, I don't know. It seems like we should be going more. Which, again, the end of this episode is setting up something big. It seems, but yeah,
seems.
I don't know. It's still kind of a dip, which is pretty much how the first season was. Like, in the middle, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I imagine they'll know. Just that it's feels like maybe it's the way they're writing it. They're not writing it episode by episode. They're writing it as like, here's the story we're going to write for this season. And then here's the plot lines for these people, like the elves. Here's how it's going to play out for the Numenorians or whatever. Here's how it's going to play out for the dwarves and the halflings, or just the Harfoots. Yeah. And just like those different plots, and they kind of write out, and then it's like, and then they just kind of figure out, well, let's focus on this, and I don't know. And then, like I said, like, that's the part that kind of gets, I think, cut up weird, and then makes from episode to episode feel weird.
Yep.
But and maybe, what you're feeling here. Whereas like, if you kind of watch them all back to back, you might not feel that way.
Yeah.
And also not feel so like, man, it's been weeks since we've seen these people, or that person or whatever, that storyline. So I think that's where it's like, I guess almost like the binge model's hurting it, the non-binge model. But
yeah,
then,
also
but then,
because
like, it's weird that, because like most shows, especially this level, like the way they're made, the binging kind of hurts it, because then you're like, you just get through it too fast. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it's weird how they do 3 episodes at once. Like, it's like that's a good chunk of the season. They dropped all those.
Yeah.
And then it's weekly. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, and I like that for like, I think it works better for something like The Boys. But with this, because they do that same thing with The Boys and some other shows too. But yeah, this one, I don't know.
Mostly what Amazon and Apple both do.
Yeah, depending on the show and the season, Apple's normally like 2.
If it's the second season,
2 or 3, or
they won't do as often. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, otherwise I enjoyed it in general.
Yeah. I still think overall, like, this is still a step up from season 1. This season as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's more easier to follow. I think season 1 was a little harder to follow, and
definitely.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't have too many notes for this episode.
Well, just one first kind of interesting. So we have, we start off with Durin the Third using one of his new rings of power to help rebuild the dwarves' infrastructure and bring sunlight back to Khazad-dûm.
Yeah, this is my first, and I did like this opening shot, seeing the 7 rings made for the dwarves. And then I think connected to this scene was Anatar talking to Celebrimbor about Anatar saying that he will create the 9 rings for men himself. Remember, he says that he's like walking away. I think in this opening scene, I want to say it's around here. But my point is, though, when they're kind of arguing about it, and I like some of our quotes are from that too, but like Anatar's only like kind of reasoning for it, he's just like, we just have to find humans we can trust. Like, that's all he says, and it's like, really? That's your... And then how much they've already talked about how easily corrupted they are. It's just like not really a whole lot to go on.
No,
not really convincing. So,
but no, I think that happened after.
Did it? Okay.
Because, I mean, obviously we keep coming back to the dwarves a little bit more, but the opening is all the dwarves and him doing that and seeming, because then there's like where he tells them to dig here, and they're like, no, that's a foundational structure or whatever to the and then it opens up a little hole of light, and so then he starts doing different things, but then you start to see him get greedy and dismiss any warnings, because then was her name Disa or Disa?
Yeah, Disa.
She sees like some kind of unknown evil like deeper into the
that was my other note,
caves, and so he's kind of disregarding any of the safety the one time his like assistant whatever is like, why do we have these limitations, who put these here? And he's like, you did, sir, and it's just there's just suddenly disregard for anything that was set to protect, and just like, let's just go full steam ahead to do what we can.
He's already like, I mean, you see him freak out already, like, where's the ring? Yeah.
Yeah. So then I put this like general note of like it seems like the rings at first look like they're helping, but then it's only for a short term gain, and long term they're hurting.
Yes.
At least these, which we can talk about, but because then when all that stuff, and then Durin the fourth expresses his concerns, the son, about the rings to Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
That's when Anatar suggests the negative impacts are being caused by the lying and deceiving of the Gil-galad about making more rings. So he's like, that's why, which we know is not, but like,
it's funny he's talking about other people deceiving when he's literally
the one that's deceiving.
Yeah.
But again, I think that it does such a good job, similar to the way that Satan is described in the Bible, of like being deceiver and just, kind of, I don't know. They do a great job of this type of, for him, like where he seems like a friend. He seems like someone that wants to help or be, but in reality, you can see the layers of it there where it's really all about him. And so, and I don't think that's an easy thing to write for. So I think
no, they're definitely doing a good job with that.
But then that's where, so it's a little bit later is when then they're arguing, because then he talks about, because they thinks that the corruption happened, and then he's like, well, we need to give men to fit, and we can fix this. But so the question is, are the elven rings corrupted? Is the question.
Probably. I mean, aren't pretty much all the rings corrupted in some way?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like he set it all up. I mean, from what I remember, it's said that he set them all up.
Right.
That then he makes the one ring that rules them all.
Yes.
So that he really has power of all the people that have rings. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of just continue with them when they're arguing. It's like another thing that I don't know. It seems weird how much Celebrimbor is trusting Anatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he's not giving him much to like convince him, but like he's just fully. Now I know the way he kind of introduced himself, like just this crazy thing. Remember we talked about what was at the end of these first few episodes, right?
Yeah, episode 3.
Yeah,
where he like transforms into.
Yeah. So like, okay, I mean, I guess if you see that happen, he's just like blindly trusting him, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's almost like you're like, hey, I'm an angel from God, and you should trust me, and then if he doesn't, if you like some small things that make you think, oh, he might be telling the truth, and then you just kind of start going with it.
Yep. What you mentioned the water really down deep in Khazad-dûm. What do you think that is? What's going on in there?
The Balrog.
You think it's that? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
because otherwise, well, I'm just trying to think of like, okay, in the Lord of the Rings, when they're in Khazad-dûm,
yes,
it's basically just a bunch of orcs, but then that's where they run into the Balrog.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that's the deeper evil that then maybe rises up and then kind of eventually destroys it for the dwarves, but then of course orcs and the troll, like they're the cave troll, end up taking over and living there, right?
Yeah. The only other thing because I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's probably that, but the only other thing I was thinking of that could be is the kind of kraken looking creature that in the movies, they had to fight at the door, which actually we see the door
Yep.
in this, which was cool.
Yep.
I thought about that too, since that's just connecting to this episode. Yeah, maybe something, maybe not the same one, but something like that too in the water. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although if it's like an ancient, really deep evil, I feel like it would be more than just that thing. You know, I feel like it would be something greater than that. But
so then, sticking with that storyline, so then eventually, Anatar convinces Celebrimbor to work on making the rings for men to like kind of redeem himself from the corrupted ones he made for the dwarves.
yeah.
But I also found it interesting before they did that, then Anatar tried to make him on his own with the help of like the assistant, and she was like disappearing. She was like not there, and also seeing a realm, and then he's like, that wasn't ready for you to see.
Yeah, and what she was picturing is like, that was clearly him in the other realm, like his true form, but it's like, what did he end up saying it was, or what?
I don't
remember, but yeah, he also was just like really turning on the charm when he was talking to her.
You really remind me of a young
Galadriel, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we leave up on that storyline, right? It kind of covers that. Other than then we see the door. Well, so then over with the dwarves, like he presents the to some ambassadors or whatever, like the other rings, but then he's like, they're gonna have to come and get it themselves.
Yeah.
And then he talks about being able to see all the different layers of gold and things that are under them. We need to dig deeper. Of course, then going past what they should be doing. So definitely getting a little crazy with the digging.
Oh yeah.
Then we're in Numenor for on and off some.
Yeah, we get a lot of Numenor actually in this episode. Yeah, I still don't care about this as much.
This is the one that I care the least about. Even the Hartfoot, I think I like better.
I don't know. It's tied for me with those two are probably
they are I would say the lowest too, but I think it intrigues me more. Also makes more sense. Like this thing, I think what bothers me, like, so the Hartfoots, like, yeah, they're a little goofy and whatever, but I think it's let's say believable in the sense of how much this stuff could be believable.
Well, we have a connection to them because they're basically our hobbits in this, you know?
No, but I mean, I don't say believable. Maybe it's not the right word I'm trying to, but like you understand their actions. You understand, I don't know. Like, it's like kind of for these characters, you're like, okay, makes sense. The Numenor stuff just like doesn't.
Yeah, I know. And it sucks because we talked about this before, how like awesome this location is.
Yep.
Like, and this is like, the Numenorians are awesome. It's just like what they're doing with this is, it's just not compelling.
It's the weakest part of like the writing, I guess, is this or something.
Also, I don't even know his name because it's hard to get these characters' names right in Numenor. But just the guy, this dude is just like
Kimmin.
Is that his name? He has like the most punchable face ever. Okay, yeah.
Kimmin.
What a name.
Kemen.
Okay. So like Kevin.
Yes.
Kemen. Okay. Yeah, this guy sucks.
Yeah. It's also like weird because our main guy's the one main guy from over there, like his daughter, like kind of turned on him, right?
Yes.
Which is also kind of weird and doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't track with her character from season 1. I think it feels a little off. But I know she's the one that can also help bring about the fact that they had the crystal ball thing.
Palantir. Yeah.
Palantir, that's what it's called. Yeah. So she revealed that, and then like, but like, I don't know.
And that's the most like interesting thing, is because of the Palantir is there. So like that, because we don't really get it, but like, I don't remember this guy's name either, but like he's about to look into it. We don't really get anything.
Right. Yeah.
But like that's always interesting. Like if we get a vision or whatever they see in it. I know it's a way to communicate as well, but sometimes people see visions in it.
His name is Farazan.
Farazan. Okay. Yeah. So like if we get anything involving that like that'll be interesting to see if he's communicating to someone or if he sees a vision.
But yeah, the Kemen,
yeah,
like he just kind of shows up and like, just like no, because like you said, punchable face, but also just like the it's like no sense of like respect to anybody, and you're just like, I suddenly have all this power, so I'm gonna try to wield it, which always is the terrible way to go about it. Because there's like the earlier scene where he's making everybody take care of their swords, and then like everyone else is like captain, and of course he's like, I'm not a captain anymore, But
yeah.
But then later, so they have the memorial service. He just interrupts that they're doing for like people that died again. Dude, like,
yeah, he's the worst.
Yeah, he's the worst. But and then we have this where the other guy.
Yeah, this is the thing, is I don't remember this character's name either, but like this is the big thing that happens at the end.
Valandil is the guy's name.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
He goes off on him.
Yeah.
Starts beating him up, and basically was ready to kill him, and then our dude stops him, and of course then he turns his back to the guy that he was just beating up, and you like knew what was going to happen. That's the other thing.
That's so dumb.
So predictable.
I know. Yeah, that's the part. It's like, were you talking about the writing in general for this stuff? But like, yeah, you couldn't have come up with something more interesting than that. Like, yeah, like you said, very predictable, and it has been done to death in any type of show.
But anyway, he stabs him in the back and he dies. So it's like, just, it's predictable, but it also shows how terrible Kemen is.
I'm sure he'll go out in a horrible way.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elendil is is it, because that's Isildur's father.
Yep.
They all think Isildur is dead, but we know better as the viewer.
Yes.
Yeah, he sets it up so that he's blamed for everything that happened down there. Which is, again, just dumb. Like, it's just dumb.
Yep. It's just a bummer because it's just an awesome premise. The place is awesome. The Numenorians, the race, like everything about it is just, and there's so much to it. Like, it's like, I imagine there's so much history with them in general. It's like, why aren't you?
They're a very like advanced society.
Yeah, like why aren't you taking advantage of that for this show? Because like even in season 1, I think they were one of the weakest in that season too. Just plot wise,
and especially until you were on. But that's where Sauron, like he kind of comes through that first, right? That's how he gets to Middle Earth.
Yeah. But, that is a big point of season 1.
Yeah, and then we get Galadriel briefly with Anandor. Anandor? Yeah, Anandor.
Wait, no. So Anatar is Sauron.
Yeah.
Adar.
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 That's his Adar. Adar.
Yeah, is the orc leader,
dark elf.
Sure, yeah.
That like leads the orcs.
Yeah. That was my final note. Was this was cool seeing like the orc army heading for Eregion. So I was mentioning, I think last week, that I was hoping we get another big battle like in season 1. So hopefully that happens. Maybe next episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Or at some point towards the end of this.
Yeah.
I mean, we only got 3 left.
Yeah, so we get the brief interaction of them kind of teasing that they might partner.
Yeah, you want to be allies, yeah.
And then we get to Elrond showing back up in Lindon and warning Gil-galad.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, warning him about where the orcs are going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I imagine that's going to be the big battle of this season. But who knows?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the notes I've got.
That's all I got too.
So do you think Galadriel ends up working with the orcs? And if that's so, then why are they marching on? I guess it's because of the town where.
Oh, Arendir. Wait, what is it? No, I just said it. Eregion.
Eregion, yeah.
Too many names.
Mm-hmm. Eregion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're marching there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is where Sauron is and Anatar.
Yes.
But yeah.
I don't know. I don't picture Galadriel allying.
Well, because you're talking about having a big battle, but if the orcs and the elves work together, then yeah. But
I don't know.
I mean, it's also too soon to really have them attack Sauron, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't know. I can't really, besides just maybe a big battle that we're trying to predict. I can't really think of any other plot details or like what's coming next for these final 3.
Yeah, other than we know that they're starting on the 9 rings for the men.
Right.
So then it's just a matter of finding those 9 men and handing them out.
I need them to stop teasing the mysterious man Gandalf thing, and then now also this evil guy too that we kind of talked about. It can't be Saruman because of his position.
We didn't see that at all.
No, we didn't see it. We didn't see any of it. But we need some resolution on that stuff for sure. And again, I mentioned
by the end of the season, you're kind of.
And I mentioned before, not the Saruman looking dude, but those what did I call them? Not acolytes, or are they acolytes? I don't know.
I think they are
the witches, whatever they are.
Yeah,
mystics. That's what they're at. Anyway, I want to see them more, so I think they're one of the coolest parts of kind of this newer type of things they've introduced in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So,
well,
that's it.
That's it for this episode of Rings of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned next week when we do we find out or not who the mysterious man is.
We're not going to find out next week. No. Hopefully the episode is better. Hopefully these final 3 are like
the first 3.
Yeah, hopefully we kind of get a more jump up, more excitement.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Which means like No Numenors. No Numenor
Or at
scenes.
least if we do, because I mean they were part of the big battle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Last time,
Yeah.
so like if you bring them in, as like with other people, then yeah,
Yeah.
But cool. All right, well, let us know your thoughts on Rings of Power, or Based or Waste, or
Yeah.
the new Crow movie.
Yeah.
And you can do that by leaving a comment on YouTube or on the reels or shorts,
Yes.
or you can write us at feedback@screentimepod.com.
Josh is fading fast now.
Yeah, I am. I'm tired. Yeah,
Long day.
long day.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can follow either of us on Instagram. I am at J Youngbar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right, and we will catch you guys next week.